Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very special video for you guys. It's the highly requested, most wanted video. Ever since I have my channel, I've been getting a lot of questions about this specific topic, and I'm finally making a video for you guys. I have my notes on my phone right here, so if you see me looking down, this is where I'm looking at. I'm gonna get a little drink, a snack, something, sit down, grab a notepad, take down some notes. For some general knowledge, I'm 20 now. I moved out when I was 19. I had this apartment for a year now, and I live in the city of my state. I'm gonna have some topics, and we're gonna go group by group, just so I can make this very easy for you guys. And if you are taking notes and if you are thinking about moving out, it'll be very self-explanatory when I'm grouping this up. I asked my Instagram what you guys wanted to know, and you guys listed a bunch of questions, so I will be answering those towards the end. So yeah, let's get right into it. First things first is savings. I get a lot of questions about saving. I pretty much saved. Okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all how I did it and then how I think y'all should do it the smart way, because I was very determined and desperate to move out, so I kind of did this a very quick and easy way when I could have did things differently. But I basically just took one check. I get paid bi-weekly. I took one check a month before the move, and I took my half of my second check. So I had about $2,000 right there, like alone. And then I also did my taxes right around that time, and I think I got like 600 back, literally every single penny from my taxes, and I put it into my savings. That got me around 3,000 something, around there. I had about 3K when I left, but I know other people advise you to save up like 10K or 5K or whatever the case is. I'm here to say that sometimes realistically you're not going to be able to save up 10K in the span of 2 months. I was saving for about like a month. I had some extra money that I kind of was saving and accumulating over the time of my senior year, I believe. And so when I graduated, I had that year to save, and I kind of wasn't really doing too good. But yeah, I took those two checks, the one before the move and then 2 weeks before the move. So that basically covered my deposit, half of rent, and some things for the apartment, like towels, toothbrushes, soap, pillowcases, etc. Like little small things. I wasn't going all out around this time, and I had no credit, but we'll get into credit later. You need to ask yourself if you are in a position where you have to move or in a position where you have time to save up. Because if you were like me and kind of in a crazy situation, you were like, yo, I gotta go, I'd advise you to do it my way. Kind of just stack your bread. If you get paid weekly, I'd say just take 60% of your check if you can. Take 60% of your check if you can, and save that and don't touch it, and just accumulate as much money as possible. Just focus on the deposit and half of your rent. I feel like those are the two most important things. And then whatever leftover money you have, you can get some food for the week or some towels and essentials, you know? That's if you're determined and needed to do so, you know? If you do have time, I advise you to save up about $5,000 to $7,000. I feel like that would cover the deposit, some furniture, maybe even like some things that you need for your room or something. That will kind of get you going so you're not like dirt broke and like kind of struggling the first couple of months, which I unfortunately did. But y'all wanted to know the truth, and I'm telling y'all the truth. So that's kind of what happened. This wasn't a plan, basically. I got my full-time job in February and moved out in March. Yeah, that should just tell you how anxious I was. Well, not anxious, but how determined I was to change my living situation. But yeah, I basically saved, got the deposit, first month's rent, and some food money, and I moved the fuck out. Okay, so you saved your money. What's next? I'd say viewings and showings are very important. I would schedule about 2 to 3 showings a week, and I did that for a couple weeks leading up until I moved out. But try to stay off of Craigslist. I have my little thing about Craigslist because I was also looking there too, but there are a lot of scams with apartments. Like, everyone was telling me, use Craigslist, use Facebook Marketplace. Just don't even bother, you guys. Facebook Marketplace maybe, but they also have a lot of scammy apartments, and I just wouldn't recommend it. Don't waste your time. And Craigslist, don't. If you are trying to move out and you want to share like a living space with like a stranger, then yeah, they have rooms for rent that you can like rent out, and sometimes they have college students living there, sometimes they have adults or kids. You really never know, you just have to read the description. If you want your own apartment and you want to do it the smart and clean way, I'd say use Zillow. I was talking more about it on my TikTok right here. If you didn't watch it, you should go watch it. It's very informational and it's very quick too, but watch this video first. Watch this video first. I recommend just using Zillow. It's very clean, informational, and I feel like it's much more of a smoother process when you use Zillow rather than Craigslist, because check it out and let me know what y'all think, because I just wouldn't recommend it. Those are like the top apps that I use. Get used to going to these apartments and asking the landlords questions, have a list, turn on the faucet, see if the water's working. Like, don't be scared. You're paying for this apartment, so be a little bit, not hasty, but be a little bit stern. Ask questions, kind of get a gist of what you're paying for is what I'm saying. Okay, so you saved, you went to the showings, and you got used to applying for apartments and asking the landlord questions. Now it's actually getting an apartment. Let's get into this. So let's say you have a couple of people that reach back out to you for a place. What you're going to do is ask for a lease. Ask for that lease. Do not get an apartment without a lease. They don't mention a lease. Ask for a lease. Make sure you get that lease and look over the terms and what they're saying on that lease. After you send the lease and you really like the apartment and you think that this is the better option with the other options that you have, sign the lease. And I would 100% recommend you come in like a couple days before you're moving and just deep clean the apartment. Like, I'm talking like get in there, get in the cracks, get in, wash the walls, get in here, because that's what I did. And let me tell you, I'm just glad I did it the day before, because if I did that move-in day, I wouldn't have slept full 24 hours. Like, it was intense. I'd say just really get in and just wash down everything. Take that time to even paint if you want to, if they allow you to do that, but I just would recommend that 100%, because it just makes your process of moving so much better. This is a side note, but I know some of y'all might need it. U-Haul trucks are very affordable and cheap. You can get them in your local area, I'm pretty sure. If you have a license, you can drive it, but if you have somebody that can get it for you and help you out with your moving process, I would 100% recommend that as well. I think I spent like 50 bucks on the U-Haul truck, or like even probably less than that. The only thing you're really spending your money on with the U-Haul is like putting the gas back, but other than that, it wasn't really that expensive, and that helped my moving process a lot too. Okay, so now you got the apartment. I would say figure out if you need internet. I'd set that up within the first week of living here or living in your space. Try to keep your bills as low as possible, and you will thank me later, I promise you, because in the beginning it's like, ooh, let's get this fast internet, let's get this beautiful big TV, let's get a whole new bed set. Like, try to do this the most smart way by just getting little things here and there. And if you're like me, I kind of sort of got like a little bin and just accumulated things before I moved out. So I went to like Dollar Tree and got like cleaning supplies and stuff, and rags, like little things like that, so that I kind of had something when I moved in. I pretty much went to Walmart and a couple other stores that I can't think of, but I mainly went to Walmart for all my stuff. My couch, y'all, is from Walmart. My pillows, my throw blanket, my TV stand, everything, a lot of the things actually in my apartment is from Walmart, so don't sleep on it. Secondhand too is another option if you want like coffee tables and stuff, but I noticed a lot of my stuff is from Walmart. They have literally everything for the low. I loved it so much. I would say just keep your bills low. Even your water bill and your utilities, if it's not included, then you're gonna have to go online and set that up yourself. Don't be alarmed or don't be scared. It kind of intimidated me at first because everything was under my name, so I was just like, what if I can't pay it? Like, what if? But it's okay. The bill is not that bad for one person, I promise you. People make it seem like it's gonna be this expensive thing. It's really not. It just depends on how crazy you are with your hot showers and your heat in the winter and your AC in the summertime, etc. But yeah, it's really simple. If y'all really want to know exactly how I did all that, let me know. But generally, I just set up my internet the first week I moved in here, and I did it with Cox. I turned on my utility like the same day because maybe I needed to take a shower. Like, hello. Now I'm gonna get into credit because I hear a lot of people talk about how you need credit when you move out and you need this score and you need this. I'm here to tell y'all don't need credit, okay? But hear me out. I got this apartment with no credit. They needed credit and I literally was like, oh, I don't have it, and they still gave me the apartment. So that just goes to show, like, just because they require credit, still apply. And when they ask, just tell them like, hey, this is my first apartment, like I haven't gotten credit yet, and they should, or maybe they won't, but for me, they were a little lenient with it, and they were just like, all right, no credit is better than like a shitty credit score, they would tell me. You don't necessarily need a credit score when you move out, but I would say eventually you should get one, because if you want to advance and get an apartment like down the road that's like really nice, they do require credit and they're a little bit more strict about it. But if you're just like, I don't really care about my apartment, like I just don't really matter, like if you're not too picky, you should be good. But at some point for me during this apartment journey, I got a little picky and I'm like, I actually want to get a nicer apartment with like management, or those apartments that I'm gonna list 2 on the screen that are really good actually. I don't know if it's just for the state that I'm in, but I like these 2 a lot. These require credit and they're a little bit more strict, but their listings are so nice and they're cheaper too. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I pay $1,500 for rent. So me and my roommate split $750. My throat is literally so dry. There's still so much to cover too, but let me... Now I'm gonna get into the Q&A. Okay, so the first question I got was, what did you tell your parents and what was their reaction? Okay, so funny story. I told my parents, so hold up, I graduated 2022 and basically told my parents, they always knew I wanted like my own space and my own apartment. They just didn't take me seriously, and let me dance around this without like making this too deep, but I've been saving up and they had an idea that I wanted to move out, and that's just kind of how I am. When I want something, I'm gonna get it. At some point I was gonna do it whether they gave me the permission or not. Me and my roommate actually laugh at this all the time, but I started my full-time job in February, like I said, and I told my parents like I might either be saving for a car or saving for an apartment, and they were kind of encouraging me to save it for an apartment. So I didn't waste no time. I literally took that as a sign, because if they wanted me to stay, they would have been like, no, like you should stack your money for a car, like you need a car. But they were just kind of like, oh, like the apartment. So it's like, okay, I see what y'all are doing. The reaction was pretty chill. The day I asked my roommate, I actually met her at work. I asked her about it. We kind of caught up, got to know each other, etc, etc. And one day we were like, you know what? Let's just move out together. And we kind of thought about it, and it took a couple days to think about it, but then we actually made it happen, literally. We both saved up together, we motivated each other, and then we put the deposit down. One thing or another, I was literally packing up my stuff and I was like, I'm leaving. And you could tell they didn't take me seriously, because they were just like, when? And I'm like, tomorrow. Like, you could tell it kind of shocked them, and they were just like, whatever. Now that I'm gone, I feel like they're a little bit more supportive and they miss me more, and they're just like, I'm so proud of you, etc, etc. But in the moment, it just gave like, what? Like, this is what you're doing? I told you I was moving out. Y'all knew. For a whole year, I took a gap year and literally just focused and really healed and tried to really figure out where I was going in life, because I was already going through so much with thinking I was going to college, but then not going to college, and then content stuff. Like, it was a lot. I'm glad I moved out. It definitely was the best decision I've ever made on my own. So yeah, that's basically how the reaction was. Another question is, have you ever gotten sick while being gone? Yes. Like, I think the day before, the day of actually, they were just super overwhelmingly nice, and I think that's what really kicked off all my emotions. Them doing that, and then we got into the car after, and I took out my cash, all my cash for my deposit, and I literally started bawling my eyes out in their car. I was like, I'm scared, like I'm really doing this. They were really sweet to me about it, and I don't know, sometimes I get a little homesick, but also growing up with strict parents, you kind of, how do I explain this? Like, you miss them, of course, and you love them with all your heart, but you kind of like your peace, and you like healing alone, and you like to do this alone. And I think that really is that's really what I remind myself, you know. It's like, this is a journey I needed to start someday, and it just so happened to be when I was 19. So yeah, I don't know. Yes, I get homesick sometimes, but not as much as you may think. How's it been so far being there? It has been actually so much fun. I literally love it. I get to come home whenever I want. I get to leave my house whenever I want. I get to set my own rules. I get to buy my own groceries. I can walk around the house naked. Not that I do, but it's like I have so much freedom, and I'm the type of person that really, I'm independent as fuck. Like it's just being in my own space. I literally love it. Like it's amazing. I do really appreciate it, and I'm very grateful that I was lucky enough to get a really good job that pays really high to even be doing this, you know. But I really like my space. I like my independence. I like my peace. This is great. And like I said, I think this is the best decision I've ever made so far. I definitely want to motivate the people who have been in the situation that I have been in, and they feel like they need to get out, like they have no escape and they're really sad. Like I encourage y'all to do it, because if I did it, you can do it. Like I promise you, you can. I was eating noodles and macaroni and cheese bowls for a good month because I was that determined. I was sleeping on my mattress on the floor for a good couple months. Like I struggled a little bit, and now I'm good. So if I could do it, you can do it. I promise you, it's not as bad as you may think it is. You just gotta get yourself out that situation if you can, and if you're able to do so. How old are you and when did you start saving up for it? I answered this earlier, but I'm 20 now. I moved out at 19 and I started saving up a month before, which is really close in time. I would not recommend that, but like I said, if you're determined enough, you can do it. But I would recommend saving up for a good year. I feel like that's like a good window of time to really be stacking your bread. Was it a long process? Not really. It wasn't a long process for me, but I definitely do feel like if you're in high school right now, definitely be stacking your bread. Like if you're working a little part-time job or have a full-time job or you're balancing school, I'd say stack your bread, because you will thank yourself a year later, you know? Christmas money, that's a good way of saving. Like literally anything, or it doesn't even have to be a big chunk. Any type of extra money you may accumulate, just put it in your savings. It really takes determination, because at first I was really shitty with saving up. Like I was diving into my savings all the time. Like it was horrible. At some point I was working 2 jobs. I had a morning job and an afternoon job, and the morning job, all that money I made from those checks went straight into my savings, and that kind of was my discipline, because like I said, I wanted to move out really bad. So that was my only hope, and I was tired, of course, but I thank my past self, because now I can work 1 full-time job. So no, it was not a long process, but it could be for you if you want to go the smart route and save up for a good like year, maybe even like 7 months. How did you manage your money, furniture, food, etc.? So I'm gonna talk about what I do now, because I feel like it's the better way. I get paid every 2 weeks. From my check, I take out $150 for groceries. I keep a little window of that. I really only spend like $100 on groceries every 2 weeks, and then the rest of it is kind of like takeout money. Like if I want to be, you know, I just have a little extra money if I want to like order pizza one day or do whatever. My utility bill money, which is around like $60 for me, and then my roommate does the same. I take out my phone bill, and then I take out my internet, and my internet's about $80. That could be a smaller amount, but I chose to get that internet specifically. I will be downgrading soon, but I pay about $80 for my internet right now. Now for furniture, I did 1 piece at a time, because at first it can be very overwhelming to like furnish your apartment the first couple months. Like, can we talk about it? Because I feel like people glamorize that too much, to the point where it's kind of a lot of pressure to furnish your apartment like really soon. Take your time. Don't screw yourself over and buy this very expensive piece of furniture, but you're eating noodles every day like me. Like, don't do that. Have a piece of furniture in mind, save up for that, and then bang that one out and keep going. And like make your lists even, and like just cross out your list. It makes you feel good, you know? My first thing was a couch. I was like, I really want to get a couch. I like being in the living room. I always have been, so I would like to have a couch. I got the couch, and then I did like a really big mirror. It's actually right here in the living room. I wanted like a big stand-up mirror, saved up for that and got that, and then I just kept banging things out. My old vanity from my old apartment was like crumbling and the paint was chipping. I basically threw that one out and got a new one. That was another thing I was saving up for, another little desk. I don't know. It can be very simple. It took me it's been a year since I moved out, and I feel like I'm still not even furnished with my apartment, but that's okay. Like, there's no rush. Nothing's going anywhere. Like, you're good. I wouldn't rush into furnishing your apartment very quickly, but if you have the savings to do so, then shit, I'd get a couch, and I'd get maybe some rugs and like cute little things for around the house. Maybe a really nice knife set. I don't know, a kitchen table. you. There's so many things I'd get if I had a bigger savings, but for me, I just banged one thing out at a time. Thank y'all so much for actually responding. I have some more, but like I said, they're kind of getting repetitive. So just to wrap this up, I'd say it's not as scary as you may think. Use me an example. Like, I was working 2 jobs, super tired and miserable. I was very sad around that time. Like, you can even watch my older videos and just see, you could just tell something was off, and it definitely was the environment I was in. So if I can do it, you can do it. I am very grateful how things went about, and I encourage y'all to do the same. Like, I feel like there's no harm in getting your own place. If you're not going to college, you know, and if you're not living in a dorm, I feel like you should get that rental history, get that rental experience. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I know it was a long and awaited video for y'all, and I'm so sorry about that. I just feel like I have more experience now, so I feel more comfortable about speaking about it now rather than when I first moved out, because I really didn't know what I was doing. If y'all want more moving content, let me know. I love these sit down videos. This was actually super fun. I would love to do another sit down video, so please let me know if y'all have any suggestions down below. Definitely tune into the videos that I plugged earlier. They're very interesting, and it was when I was moving out, and I showed kind of what I was getting and did a haul. Like, it was super cute. Y'all should definitely go watch them. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I hope to see y'all soon. I'm out, but I will see you guys next time. Bye.